Authenticity. What is it? What is being genuine? What is being true to yourself? It basically means canceling out all the noise around you and going inwards and finding out what makes you you. Overall, looking in my life, I have always felt the need to, not always, but in my earlier years, like my late teenage years, I felt the need to fit in really strongly because I felt like I couldn't identify with the crowd. I couldn't identify with anyone as much, you know. So I tried to blend in and mask myself and blend in the environment. That also inevitably ended up doing more harm than good. Why? Because when you're not being true to yourself, you're letting others know, or you're subconsciously giving others a message that it's not okay to be yourself either. You know, you are not letting your light out, you're not letting your light shine, you're dimming it, and you're making yourself small to fit in with others and society and the environment or whatever you feel like you're not safe. Sometimes it's not your fault. A lot of times it's not your fault because your environment is toxic, or environment is in such a certain way, society is set up a certain way that you're supposed to act a certain way, be a certain way, and walk a certain way, which is completely fine. But you know, suppressing yourself in the society or in the environment by trying to make yourself like others will end up killing you inside, and when it kills you inside, you will also be as good as dead outside. What is the solution to this problem? Well, you cannot change the whole society, you cannot change the whole environment, you cannot change people around you, you know. What you can do is tune into your inner frequency. Try to change yourself in the sense that you become the truest version of yourself. Of course, you will not be the truest version of yourself from outside. You all have different masks that you put on while you're with other people. You're someone with your own self. The one you are with your own self, that is one of the truest versions of you. Then you are someone else with your friends, someone else with acquaintances, someone else with your family. But the thing is that the closer you get to deleting the differences in between all these masks, the greater there will be a chance for your tribe to find you, and for your soul to breathe. Your soul can only breathe when you are being true to yourself. Why? Because when you are attuned to the frequency that your genuine self, your authentic self has, when you're tuned and aligned with that frequency, you get to remove obstacles from your life. You get to remove naturally obstacles from your life. You get to remove any hurdles from your life that are blocking your energy or any of your chakras, for example. You know, for example, my throat chakra, I felt like it has been blocked for the longest time ever. I used to talk to myself a lot, but then lately I found myself in the winter, for example, brooding and not talking to myself enough, or not even at all. You know, I found myself not reflecting at all and not even talking even a bit to myself, and just in going to my inner thoughts and in a more internal way, intrinsic way, you know. It caused me to think, what's going on? Why am I not talking to myself? And I realized that I haven't been putting time aside to talk to myself. I have just been, you know, I have just been flowing with life, but not in the most natural way, because I've been suppressing what I want to express. If I want to scream, if I want to dance, if I want to sing, if I want to laugh, you know, that sort of thing. So, for example, if you have a blockage in any of your energy centers, you know, and there are 7 energy centers that we know, there are specific ways to unblock those energy centers. It depends on which energy center or centers they are, or it is. For example, to unblock your throat chakra, for myself, I found that forcing myself out of my comfort zone and making myself sit and talk to the camera, for example, it's like talking to myself and giving myself advice, and you know, in hindsight. And it helps me express myself, my voice. It helps me unlock my voice. It helps me listen to myself talking and knowing that I exist through my voice coming out. You know, it makes me affirm that I am alive and I am a talking vessel, and I am expressing thoughts. I am expressing myself, you know, that sort of thing. question remains, how can you be your most authentic self? For example, first of all, in an environment which is toxic and not conducive to your growth, I would suggest in that circumstance is to go inward more fully, go inward, even more inward through meditation or inner reflection and prayer. Go inward, and that's how you will maybe make your way out of the toxic environment. You have to ignore what is going on around you. In a way, you have to be in your own bubble. You have to make a protective shell around you, so that your bitter reality does not affect your aura, your frequency, your energy, your chi, that sort of thing. Secondly, what you can do, for example, if you feel like you're not being your most authentic self because you are depressed, then I'm not a professional, so I'd suggest that you go to therapy and you go to a doctor and see what's going on, because sometimes there can be medical ailments, it can be health issues that you do not know that are going on with you. For example, depression, anxiety, etc. Not everyone can beat depression on their own. I think most people cannot. It's really hard. Some people go in hermit mode and they come out maybe better, but sometimes when you go in hermit mode, you can come out worse. So you need support. It takes a village. It always takes a village to come out of some ailment, tragedy, or situation. So don't deny yourself support, social support. It can be from your therapist, it can be from doctor or your family or your friends maybe. To be your authentic self is to be your truest self, is to be your highest self, to recognize the divine energy within you, the divine existing within your heart, and honoring yourself as that soul vessel that can overcome all challenges just because it is attuned to its innermost highest frequency, highest known optimal frequency. You can avoid a lot of problems in life just by being authentic, and you can also invite some problems by being authentic, but that is another topic for another day. But the thing is that I have learned my whole life right now, I have learned that by making myself small, I will not be doing myself a service. I'll not be doing the community a service. I would not be doing the world a service. I would not be doing my sole purpose a service, And it's a harsh lesson. It's a hard lesson. For some people, it takes a longer time. For some people, it takes less time. For some people, they don't even need to learn this lesson because it's in them, So I just wanted to share this with you because I felt like it's something that I think is important in today's world, where you are supposed to maybe buy things that you don't need, or be someone you are not. Try to be someone you're not. For example, I saw a TikTok, the woman in that was discussing about de-influencing and telling people you don't need to buy this, you need to buy that, and by buying things you do not become another person. So stop trying to be another person. You cannot buy your way into being another person, and should never want to be another person, because you are you, and you should respect yourself because you are you, and there's no one else like you, and everyone is unique and different, so just try to honor yourself through that. And that thing itself, knowing who you are, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you want, knowing what you do not need to do to go ahead in life, to appeal to the masses, that is a big thing. You cannot sell your way. You can being authentic. You cannot sell your soul and be authentic. Why I wanted to I highlight the importance of being authentic, because I have also always struggled with that in my life, because I'm someone who absorbs energies easily like a sponge, and I tend to morph a bit into whom I'm with. So my personality might change a little bit according to whom I'm with, but I realize that's my personality, and it doesn't matter if that happens. But what's most important is at your core who you are, and that will never change. That should never phase you. That should never move. That should be your sturdy foundation for your self-concept.